Hey guys, so I guess we'll start prepping for this next race and try to sort out, how to run around Sebring. Obviously, I haven't been there before, but I think I got a good sense of what the optimal lines are going to be and kind of the tricky bits. I know the bumps are what makes it famous, and no game's going to replicate that, but we'll see if we can make some sense out of it. Alright, so here we are back in the car. One of the things we previously didn't really talk about was the location of the corner stations, and in this concrete jungle, they're particularly difficult to look at and or find. So before even talking about any sort of optimal lines, I thought I'd point out the stations. So first flagger station that I could see, and hopefully Peter Justin can correct me if there's one before this, was coming into turn 3. So this is just before the left-hander in turn 3. The flagging station is right here, so it's a natural place for your eyes to look. I don't think this one will be any issue. Now we're in between turns 4 and 5. The flagging station here is essentially a straight line coming out of turn 4. It's basically where you want the car aimed before you make the left-hander into 5. So again, you're going to want to put your eyes here. I wish they were replicated in the Sims, but unfortunately they're not. And then coming out of 5 and through 6, there's another flagging station on the underside of this bridge here. Next flagging station is coming in turn 7. Not sure about his line over here, but we won't worry about that. But it's essentially, the inside of turn 7. Pop your eyes over there as you're coming down the straight. These next ones are the trickier ones, I think. This one's off way out in the grass here. This is between turns 8 and 9. Okay, so this is the flag coming into turn 10. Pretty straightforward. Location actually looks like it's a little bit elevated. Turn 13. Again, you'll see this flag. It should be pretty straightforward to see if you're looking for it. Alright, so now we're into the turn 14, kind of double left-hand turn. And you might have to take my word for it, but there is a flag station here somewhere. Basically, as soon as this runway cuts across. And then coming into turn 15, there's an apex flag. In the Le Mans corner, there's another apex flag. There might be a back straight flag. Yeah, as you're entering the braking zone for turn 17, there's a flag here. Pretty accessible if you just happen to glance up at it instead of concentrating only on the brake markers. Then as you're going through the corner before you get to the bridge, there's another apex flag. And then finally, when you get past the bridge, there's another flag, on the inside of the turn as you approach the start-finish straight. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is just run through a lap. The good thing about Sebring is that there aren't really a lot of tricky corners. Obviously, there are important corners, particularly the ones going onto the straights, but they're not hard as far as the lineup goes. For turn 1, you're going to set up outside and then go as far inside, really close to the inside concrete wall as you can, waiting late to apex so you can get a good run out of the corner. I'm not sure about this car, but brake between the 2 and 300, and again, overslow this corner just a bit so that we can get a good run coming into turn 5. Turn 5 you want to take your time with, allowing the car to rotate so as you can get onto the throttle as quickly as possible. And remember that this straight has a long turn to it, so just hang out to the right side of the track until it actually does straighten out. Coming into the hairpin, there's no mystery here, just slow down enough so you can turn the car around and try to make the exit as straight as line as possible. Next little bit is all going to be flat out. Next turn you're going to be thinking about is turn 10, and you're going to set up on the outside. Get slowed down to 90-degree turn, not particularly complex other than it's going to be bumpy like the rest of the course. Following few turns are all going to be flat. The upcoming turn 13 is probably the most interesting as far as braking zones, because you're going to brake in sort of a diagonal aiming towards the outside of the corner, turn in late. I don't think you want to hit the curb. I know I did in this situation, but if I'm not mistaken, the curb is pretty tall there, so you'll just want to turn in late and get a good run off the corner because all of this is flat again. You'll have a hard braking zone to get down into probably 4th gear in the real car, maybe 3rd gear depending on traffic, which gets us to turn 16. You'll want to jump out to the outside of the track like I just did a little bit, probably half a car or 1 full car width. Get slowed down enough and either drop down to 4th or 3rd again. I'm not sure, it's sort of car dependent, and just get a good run out of that corner. So now's the time to think about the approach to turn 17, which is going to be an initial turn in without much braking, then braking in a straight line, followed by a really fast 180-degree turn with the intent of maintaining speed through a whole bunch of bumps, allegedly. Now, I thought about keeping this going for a while longer, but I feel like we did a lot better just in-game practice running around in the Civics and other cars, so maybe we'll just leave it at that. I'll leave one more lap just so you guys can watch my line, but I don't know how much more there is to gain from me talking about it when we can be practicing all together.